Hey everyone, this is Charlie McKenna, president of the Winch Brigade Association. With New Year's right around the corner, you can now buy your seats for the bleachers at the performance area around City Hall. They're on sale at Independence Visitor Center for $25 a piece. They are located at 599 Market Street in Philadelphia. They're open daily 9 to 5. And Happy New Year, everyone, and buy your seats.
All right, everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We're live down here tonight at the Mummers Museum for the holiday string band episode, the night that we are doing the Christmas tree lighting at the Mummers Museum. What a great performance by Joey Toal and the Mummers Chorus, and a really beautiful ceremony. We'll cut in some videos. Billy was up there and got some footage of it. It's a really nice event that Brian and the Mummers Museum puts on. It's a memorial tree lighting, right, Billy? Yeah. So it's a really nice event to bring the Mummers and the Second Street community together here at the Mummers Museum for the holidays. Really special treat. If you didn't make it down this year, definitely should be something that you check out or think about checking out in the future. Is really cool to be here and see some of that. But welcome in for another year of fun and exciting string band talk. We are ready and equipped with our 2026 predictions and no guest, but guest host, Justin Graser. Finally. Long time waiting for him.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely.
Love the podcast, man. It's cool.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. I know that you're a listener all the time because I see that you comment on episodes. Thank you. I love when people actually comment. You and Adam Shavashetsky from the Downtowners are like two of the only people that actually comment. We get a lot of people that answer the polls, but not a lot of people actually participate in the comments. So it's nice that you do it because we've read them out on episodes when you do it. So it is nice, but awesome to have you down. Before we get into any predictions, before we get into any string band talk on the night, we just want to make sure that we hit all of the important upcoming events and our poll results and everything from the previous episodes. So I'm going to turn it over to Haley for a second to take you through some of that.
Sure. So for events, since we're already kind of towards the end of December, there's not too much going on at the time of this posting, other than just keeping on top in Mum Nation. I know there's a lot of different Sundays that go around. So whoever you're associated with, check Mum Nation. Someone has an answer. But the only other thing I could think of besides New Year's, obviously, is the Brigade Run-Through, which is on the 30th at the Convention Center at 7:30. So if you're intrigued, you want to see a sneak peek, it's a great time to come out and kind of creep on your competition. But for our poll, our last episode poll was, what kind of music do you prefer for New Year's Day? And the options were string band, brass band, or a DJ/music truck. We had some polarizing feedback on Mum Nation, but majority, about 70% across all of our polling platforms, was for the string bands.
Wow.
And
I'm surprised with that. I really was.
I'm not.
No. The remaining 30% was the brass band, and shocker, no one said DJ, because if you have the option of live music,
100%.
Why would you want a recording? I don't disagree. But we had some comments. Some were pretty heated, but basically everyone was in agreement that you should want to listen to some live music.
Yeah.
Now, whether you're more into the string bands or brass bands, obviously it's your opinion, but what do you guys think?
String band.
String band for sure.
I like brass bands,
Band.
I can only do brass band for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I can listen to a string band all day. Brass bands are exciting, but for me, I can only listen to it outside, and I can only listen to it for like a limited amount of time. What do you think?
I agree. Yeah, same. You ever remember being on 2nd Street and we're trying to play a song and there's like a DJ just blast? Yeah, that's like, it's not fun.
Well, now
They're
it's
separated.
Oh, dude.
They separated in the second.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, there's a set time for the live bands this year.
So I was going to say now it's an issue even on Broad Street because they intermix the band, as you're coming down. So sometimes you are stuck behind a brigade that has a music truck and you're trying to play on Broad Street and it's like, why am I bothering?
That was Christmas year. Joker snuck in front of us, but it was cool because their music was like super fun and shit kicking. So we were like, we weren't as mad. But
I'm not a. It's not like I'm a DJ truck hater or anything like that. I just feel like if you're going to have pre-recorded DJ music, can it at least fit the show you're doing or be fun, family-friendly music? Like
not rap.
Or like a bunch of cursing. Like, I mean, I get it, right? There's a lot of adults at the parade, but it's all, I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
keep it family friendly.
Yeah, it's not really what we're trying to sell.
Keep that back at your club.
Yeah, that's fine. But I kind of wish, I don't know if how you're like you feel or like even Kyle being in the Vikings, like I kind of wish that the brigades, like I get it, the pre-recorded music is probably a stronger choice for your theme, but like on 2nd Street, I would love if they had a brass band coming down 2nd Street instead of the music trucks, because it's kind of like, I don't know, I get sick of hearing
I don't think there's enough brass bands out there.
Probably not.
Probably not enough.
Yeah,
brass bands, or there is enough. They just don't want to put out that extra money. Since they already just
Tommy Early just talked about that.
Yeah, I think Tommy said it was like some bands cost like up to $5,000 or more just for I don't know how many pieces, but it's a lot of money for that. How about you? What did you vote?
I said string band.
Yeah,
I really do like brass bands, and I like when they come up to the club and everything. But again, after a certain point, I feel like my ears start ringing, and I can't enjoy it like I want to. But at least the string bands, I feel like the music that they play, there's more variety. So I feel like it's more sustainable to listen to.
I think it seems like there's more variety out of string bands because during the holiday and leading up to New Year's time, it's all theme related music. I mean, mostly that you're hearing the street songs that go along with your theme. So, you know, if South Philly's doing Arabian, Aladdin, and Quaker's doing Carnival, like all the music's going to be completely different no matter what band you're hearing come down 2nd Street, you know? So I think that's another reason for the variety. I'll ask you this because you would appreciate this. Was there any year that Hat Day or 2nd Street, whatever, that you didn't like it that much because whatever the theme was, you hated the street songs?
Yes. Quaker, we did the Indians, the Native American theme. We thought we were going to have like the most smoking powerhouse street tunes, and they just turned out to be blah. Yeah. And then I'm like, then we got second, and then we're like, okay, can we get this 2nd Street over? Like,
how many street songs do you guys prepare?
I guess it really depends, but usually whatever.
I feel like the one year we had like 20 street songs.
Oh, is that many?
Yeah, like because of the book, you could do the street book has 2 sides.
Okay.
So if you do 10 on the other one side, you flip it, you're gonna have 10 on the other.
Okay. And
it's not like they would leave any blank.
No, I'm not a fan of flipping. I like it all on one side and go back to the beginning. That's what I like, which is usually about.
I memorize when I play.
Do you?
Yeah.
I memorize all the words that the DJ's playing.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, good for you. You could join Joey Toal in the Mummers chorus.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
They're looking for
Sorry, Joe.
They wouldn't want you anyway.
No, probably not. But
wow, shots fired.
Before we get into like any picks or whatever like that, I wanted to talk to you, Justin, a little bit about. Well, first,
I wasn't done.
Oh, you weren't done yet? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go.
She's in a mood tonight.
No.
You called me fat for eating munchkins. So.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought that was rude.
Thank you, Justin. Anyway, to continue with my little spiel.
Yeah, I'm calling people.
By the way,
fat.
I think munchkins got small. Those things were like only this big.
Yeah.
Can I continue?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
How many munchkins did you?
Shut up. I'm going to mute
4.
your microphone.
Anyway.
I have the power to do that.
Anyway, if you've been on Mum Nation, if you've been on Facebook in general, you've probably seen that the Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia Mummers Parade won yet again the Reader's Choice Best Holiday Parade in the country. So thank you everyone for voting. I'm so happy to see that again. It's really cool just to be able to share that and to see that our tradition is so big, at least in the country. So that's awesome. And then just on behalf of Word on the Street, I did post on Mum Nation, but I just want to say again, thank you for all of the updated stats and everything that we saw on our Spotify and Wrapped. It's really cool to see that our viewing of our videos has increased. Just our followers and subscribers in general have increased. So thank you again. It makes it so much fun to sit down here on any weeknight that we do, especially during some of the most hectic time of the year for us, and make it worth it. So just thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. You down now?
And now I'm done.
Okay. Because, being in the holiday time, and we have our guest host down here. I wanted to bring you in a little bit. First, aside from mums, you got any holiday traditions that you're looking forward to coming up?
Yeah, we have like one of the best holiday traditions, Christmas Eve. Ever since I was like little, newborn even, we would go to my grandfather's house in Cherry Hill, and they did it down their basement.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like all the old 60s and 70s furniture
Yeah,
up
that's
through
cool.
like the
Cool.
90s
Yeah.
and 2000s. They had a fridge that was like mustard yellow, but kept the beer like the best temperature.
Nice.
But my grandfather passed away in 2016, so we weren't sure if my grandma was going to keep that tradition going.
Yeah.
Turned out she did. So
Oh, that's nice.
yeah. So we all get together. It's like our big thing.
Mhm.
The whole like Graser and my Taylor is my dad's sister's last name. That side of the family, we all get together, and it's a great time.
Yeah, that's
know.
awesome. And I know that, I mean, you're a gigantic Mummer family, so New Year's, I'm sure, is always a big part of your holiday. And, you know, I'm not saying you glaze over Christmas or anything like that, but now you're a parent with a young kid.
Right.
So is Christmas a little different now with that?
I want to try to keep Christmas, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we'll focus on New Year's after that. I
Mhm.
mean, because my son's too, and
Yeah.
he's loving all this, the lights, the trees, the
Mhm.
Santa, the snowman, everything, you name it. So I'm trying to keep it separate,
Yeah.
honestly, and I don't want to brainwash him too early with this mummer
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, we were like nuts as kids with the tapes and
Yeah.
being at the club all the time, and I'm like, he's still young.
Mhm.
He would like tear the club apart. So but he does, like, I could see him starting to like it,
Yeah.
enjoy it. Like instruments, he's got a saxophone, 2 drum sets my brother got him, a guitar, it's a ukulele, but he calls it his guitar.
Sure.
He started strumming right away, and he like was like a rock star on a stage. And I'm like, where did you see this? And then he was like, now
He's a Graser.
he's starting to march
There
the
you
house
go.
front to back. And I'm like, we don't watch this at home. Like, we used to sneak it in when my fiance would go to work.
Mhm.
She was night shift at the hospital.
Yeah.
So I would pop it on between 7 and 8. He goes to bed at
Mhm.
8, but not that crazy. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like you said, it might be in his blood.
Yeah.
It's got to be in the blood because
I mean, you know, that's how we were. You know,
Right,
I mean,
right.
like my parents never pushed it on me, but I took to it. You know,
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
same
yeah.
with you guys and everything. You know.
yeah, you're super young out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just the
We'll
way
see.
it was.
And listen, if he wants to be a part of it, well, he's going to have to learn some instruments first. That's
Sure.
rule 1.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to be a part of it, you know, more power. Just school, learn the instrument, learn the instrument well, and then we'll do the string band.
Yeah,
thing.
definitely.
That's going to be the
Even if he
rules.
doesn't want to be a part of it, I still think if he would be interested in an instrument, that would be great.
Yeah.
You know, learning music, I think, is something I was always glad that I
it's
did.
huge.
Yeah.
Get him into
Huge.
the brigades.
I don't know about
He's got an
that.
uncle in the
Listen,
Vikings, so make him a star.
Yep, and an aunt and a cousin.
That would be great if he was a star.
Would it?
Oh,
We're on the other side of Broad Street, so I don't know if we could be in a
You're on the
club.
side against Prism.
Uncle Billy can babysit him at the Stars.
Right.
What are you
Nice.
excited for 2026? I almost said 2016. But 2026 coming up, just in general with the string bands, but obviously, I mean, you know, with South Philly and everything.
Personally, I'm excited to be back on the drums.
Mm.
I played bass fiddle for the last probably 12 years, 13 years. So they made a little switch and put me on the snare drum, and I'm loving it. It's a lot less to lug around. It's more fun to play. It's what I grew up playing.
Mhm.
So that's, you know, first. And then super excited for my nephew and godson. He's going to wear his first suit with Woodland, and he's playing percussion. So I'm very excited for him. He's super happy, and I'm happy for him. And then, you know, it's enough of that personal stuff. I'm excited to see Uptown.
Mm.
You know, Uptown. I'm excited to see Aqua Show. I'm really excited because I love that sort of theme, and Avalon as well
Okay.
for a string band, and then the Brigades as well. But we're sticking to the string band
Yeah.
thing here. So.
It's actually cool that you brought up Uptown because I'm actually going to throw up a graphic with some bullet points about Uptown while I'm mentioning this because I had a chance to go back and forth in a conversation with Ron Moyer, who is the theme chairman at Uptown, who reached out and actually complimented that we complimented Uptown a few times on a couple
They
episodes.
seem to be become our favorite.
Yeah, they're definitely up and coming again. They've had their time like in the early 90s, and now I feel like they're kind of hitting the stride like that a little bit again.
I hope they keep it going.
Yeah.
Run that momentum.
So he let me in on a couple of things that they're doing with their show that he said was cool to share publicly. And their show really sounds cool just from the standpoint of the theme title being From Script to Screen, that they are actually doing like some script writing gimmicks and then going into production. It's going to be like their own movie studio. They're not doing any movie specific things like how Fralinger did a few years ago. They had the West Side Story and stuff like that. They're not doing things like
What was
that.
that? It was Flickers, right?
Oh, well, 86 was Flickers, yeah. But 2018, they did the all black and white costumes again.
Movie chromatic.
Yeah. So Uptown's going to have like their own original studio. They're going through the different departments like makeup and script writing. And I think there might even be like some animation stuff, I believe he said, stuff like that.
Cool. It's different.
Cool.
Yeah, but all the different processes of the movie from pre-production all the way through to the end. And then there was one thing that he told me in confidence, but he asked me not to say it publicly, so I won't. But it sounds really, really cool.
When the show's over, you could tell us.
Yeah, when the show.
Definitely telling us.
Yeah, but yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a really neat idea. And then the whole thing is guided by the director, which is the captain, which he said was cool to mention. So it sounds like it's going to be a really neat, different take on the movie business. And one of the questions that I actually asked him was, how are you managing not making it feel as though it's a lot of different themes? Because that can be a problem with certain themes in movies. To me, it was always one of those, like, if you're doing movie specific things, how does it not feel like a Wizard of Oz theme and then a cowboy theme and then, right?
Yeah.
And their solution to that, I don't want to say his solution, but the committee and the band's solution to that was to do their own original content versus do movie specific things that could take you out of the element of it being a film studio, right? Because they didn't want you to start paying attention to specific films and take away from the overall.
Yeah, it's a better way to go about it. Good direction.
Yeah.
I was a little worried there what movies they were gonna portray.
Yeah.
If you get my drift.
I think we all thought the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, they're gonna be waiting at the judge's line when we're done.
I know. I mean, honestly, right? Like, I think one of the only themes that movie specific things worked for was Quaker's monster thing a couple of years ago, but because the characters are so niche, right? It's all in like one genre. I think that worked. It does get a little murky when you start thinking about like Kensington back in like the mid '90s when they did the theme and they had the ushers and all that kind of stuff. They had a Wizard of Oz segment and stuff like that. No knock to Kensington. I mean, it was a million years ago at this point, but you kind of lose a little bit, right? So I'm looking forward to Uptown, and their growth has been something we've kind of tracked on our episodes here. And, obviously you feel similar. So I got a soft spot for Uptown too, because my pop was in Uptown.
Your legacy there.
Yeah, I'm famous there. All right, but like we said, we'll get into it. If you haven't fast forwarded up to this point already, we're here tonight really to give our string band predictions for 2026, and we're doing it a little bit different this year since we added in another host for the night. We're not going to go through individual picks. What we did was we all did our individual picks, but we did an average. So you're going to get one set of 1 all the way through 14 of what we came out with basically as a group. And I will disclose to everybody, right? So, well, I'll go through actually first. Did you have any method to picking yours, or did you just kind of what you felt, or?
Yeah.
Looked
at the themes, looked at the past history, club size.
Okay.
I didn't look at, like with the brigades, I always look at position.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that with the string bands because it don't matter with the string bands.
All right. How about you? Any method?
Yeah, I went with like the music from last year, and if at all any growth musically throughout the year, because the association's always sharing videos.
Yeah.
This band looked ginormous, gained a bunch of members on the off season. This band lost a few. So musically is where I was like focused, but then also like from a show standpoint, some of these bands like Uptown, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big time coming through with some great gimmicks and great show ideas. So that's where I was at with it.
How about you?
Yeah, I went on the database last year and I actually was pulling up more of the points, especially once you get more into the middle of the pack. Just kind of seeing the trends of things and kind of incorporating anything I've heard over the year.
Right.
and to see how that may have affected what I would have initially thought.
Gotcha. And then what I did was sort of similar to what Justin did. I went off of the 2025 performances and then how I felt about the themes for 2026. So I kind of like did that. I also I thought it could go in a bunch of different directions. So what I actually did was I made my own average. Like I did every scenario that I thought was possible. And then I averaged it together and used that as my pick. So actually, this that you're going to hear tonight is an average of 8 total possible scenarios that we averaged together to get these results. And I think they came out pretty good, to be honest with you. I might place a bet on these results because they came out pretty good.
Yeah,
So-
I would put your bets in. This is going to be pretty close.
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, if we knock this 1 to 14 right, I don't think that's ever.
Billy's buying us dinner.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Bell.
Where do you guys? Cheap, so cheap.
Couldn't even pick a nice Mexican restaurant.
No, we should go to Ojung's, our sponsor.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
I could take a Christmas martini.
So did you have one yet?
No.
Anyway, so we're going to do, like I said, every single prize, 1 to 14. We're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. We have a couple little surprises to throw in between for you, but we're going to kick it off with our first grouping, which is 14 to 11. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
14 to 11, and Billy is going to let us know. All right, Billy, what do we got? 14 to 11.
Go easy on them.
So read them all off? Or
Yeah, read them all off. Go ahead.
Okay. 14, we have Jersey.
All right.
13, we have Hegeman. 12, Duffy. And 11, Durning.
All right. There we go. So let's
Send
kick
all
us
hate
off.
mail to them.
Hey, listen. I'll say I think every band has improved a lot. It's a cliche to say, but I do think that's true. Someone has to come in every prize.
Right.
So it is, unless there's a tie for 13, then there's no 14 or a tie for first.
I hope it happens again.
Stop that. Stop that.
So there we go. That's our first grouping. It's up on the screen. You can follow along with that and let us know what you think during this whole episode. If you want to let us know your picks for whatever prize, every prize, group them the same way we did, whatever, let us know what you think. So there you go. There's our first grouping. But before we move forward, we actually have a segment. We sat down with Spanky Brown, Michael Brown from Quaker City, who's the current music director there. He's been the past theme chairman or vice president at Quaker. And we just talked to him a little bit about his process with being on the theme committee, putting together themes, being the music director, and being not only on the theme committee, but at one point being in charge of it. So he shared some insight about Quaker's process, his personal process, and some of his thoughts for 2026 coming up. So take a look at that. Spanky Brown.
Do we have clap on the camera here? Great. No. But no, it's been a good year for secrecy.
Yeah.
Usually last couple of years has been a lot of your stuff got out, this got out, and it's always something stupid. Some kid decided to record it on his phone and send it to his buddy. We've all been there.
Yeah.
You were that excited kid 20 years ago.
Oh, I've done it.
Couldn't
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you work so hard today that it's for it to get out. We feel it was 2 years ago. Our music got out. It was about a week and a half before New Year's. And I think we were told that certain bands may have changed what they were doing a little bit. Could be dynamically, could be,
sure.
a quick rewrite of something, you never know. But it was, it hurt us.
Especially if some of those bands are in front of you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And now the way we march,
Right. Sure.
grouped up like that.
Absolutely.
But used to be the theme chairman.
Yeah.
Right. So
2008 till, what was it, 2013?
okay.
They were my years.
So what we're talking about right now about getting out, like as a person who ran a committee, what do you let out to the band and don't let out to the band initially to avoid the most things leaking? Like you want to let people know what they're going to be a part of, right?
Absolutely.
But where's the line? What do you keep?
Well, initially, so you're picking something probably, as a matter of fact, 2008. So it was the shows. We were at the convention center down in Atlantic City, and we had decided we were going to do that Hawaiian thing, and which was really cool. And we just wanted the band to know that, hey, this was the idea. And without being able to divulge lots of information, they hated it. So I'm thinking my first year, here I am. I'm real excited to let them know we're going to do this big Hawaiian theme, and we had all these great ideas. And when you first start, the committee is, there are, I wouldn't say hundreds, but there are a lot of ideas, lots of ideas. They don't all make it into 4.5 minutes. But you want to tell everybody all of them. You're kind of like, oh, this and this and this and this. We're going to have this. We're going to have that. Tiki's, blah, 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 blah. And I just said, okay, well, I'm just going to let the guys know at the show of shows, big venue, bring them all to the back behind the curtain. We picked the theme, guys. We're doing Hawaiian. And it was like, right there. And guys were just, I guess, because it never had a whole lot of success, in the past. Yeah. So, but, we won them over eventually. Costuming was incredible that year. Al did an amazing job on the costumes that year. And, it was fun to start, what you're asking. It was fun to start letting them know piece by piece certain things that were going on. So you might get a street song. With the street song, you might say, oh, we had this idea for this tune in the theme. That could be June. Right. Come July, August, sketches are being divulged. Music for New Year's is starting. So more and more stuff will start coming out. Tried to keep our committees, when I had the committees, inside between 10 and maybe a dozen people, somewhere like that. And just full of guys who could keep their excitement under their hat, because they were like, man, this is just every year your creative juices starts going and you want to tell somebody, it's a big secret that I want to let out. But I mean, I don't think you should ever keep it a secret, because these are the guys who are working all year, who are making the jobs, who are selling the tickets. They should know. They should definitely know, but maybe they shouldn't know everything, maybe there's, even this year with what we're doing now, there are guys in the band who honestly could come up to you and say, yeah, musically, it sounds great. It's doing this, it's doing that, but I don't know what's going on show wise. And it's not that we haven't told them. It's just, I think there's also an element of, I want to be surprised too. Yeah, I want to see that drill when that prop comes out and it's like, oh, that's what that does. Oh, that's what that reveals, and it, and it's not by design. It's more, it's more just kind of the evolution of how themes have become, have gone from the egg to the chicken. It takes time to incubate a little bit. Sure. And let it fester, let the guys get excited and then hit them with something. Yeah. And it's fun. It makes for, because I feel like we've kind of had to reinvent a few things just to keep it fresh. A little bit, Sure. I mean, you've been there. You've seen how, you could, back in the 80s, what was it? It was 4.5 minutes of not a whole lot of great ideas. Oh, we're going to have a dancer suit. Oh, okay, well, and until like say mid 80s when a few props started coming in, or a few different crazy ideas, or some themes that were actually off the wall started happening. And it was like evolve, 90s, evolve, 2000s, even more, till today, what we have today. These shows are just, they're incredible. They really are. I mean, there are people outside of this craft that say, I don't know how you do that. And I don't know how you do it in 4.5 minutes. Yeah.
I kind of equate, to go back for a second, letting the people that are in the show, whether in prop side or costume side, I kind of always equate it to filling in either the crew or the actors to a movie or a show, right? Like they need to know what's going on so that they can either be part of the production or they can play the part that you're asking. The only difference is, we can't tell them everything because there's no such thing as an NDA or anything in the string bands, right?
Give them the first page of the script.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to get into some more stuff, but
could you imagine though? imagine, have you ever seen like where you sit down and do a script read? Could you imagine that in string bands where you'd sit down at the table and your music director starts talking about the music and blah, 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 and then this guy chimes in, and then all of a sudden you just tell the story. You tell the 4.5 minute story, which I could sit here and tell you 4.5 minutes of what's going on for 2026, and it'll probably take 10 minutes to tell it.
Yeah,
but it's a 4.5 minute show.
Yeah, it is weird. I think the closest thing to a table read, right, that I've ever been a part of, is Sammy would do it at remember at our last couple theme meetings before we would start to let anybody know anything.
It's you whiteboard it kind of.
Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of what we did. We'd have the little table with the props. Okay, we're gonna do this. That's like the closest I think we've ever got it. But it was a good check in with the community to say are we on the same page as we were a month ago, 2 months ago?
It won't be long before you're actually watching your 4.5 minutes from AI.
Yeah,
you will see your 4.5 minute show from AI.
Yeah,
it won't be long. It really won't, and you'll know exactly what you're putting on the street, which could be a good thing. Could be a bad thing.
Yeah, I think it's good for certain things, like maybe depending on how close you can get it to your actual 4.5 minutes, you can see something before you do it with motion and say, "Oh, no, I don't know."
Could you imagine if we had AI in 2008 when you're starting to try and build these themes? Now it puts you, that saying, right church, wrong pew kind of thing.
Yeah.
It puts you right in the right pew. It puts you in the church, in the pew, and you're kind of like, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. And I don't have to wait for, a designer to come to me and say, well, this was my vision.
Right.
It's almost, it almost gives it's an edge for the designer, in my opinion. I don't feel as if any of the designers take the AI and say, okay, I'm just going to draw that.
Yeah.
I think they get such inspiration from what they can see and what that's creating now. It kind of gives them a little, shot in the ass a little bit. And I think it's actually going to be good for us. I really do.
I do too.
Especially with all the aspects of mummery, in general.
I think it's a good thing used right. I think it's good hand in hand with creativity. I don't think it is the creativity.
No.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
It is the spark.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. And if it's used the right way, I think it's really helpful.
Yeah, exactly.
Working with certain people on the theme committee, there are guys that are really good at coming up with ideas and telling you about it. And there's guys that can't get it out of their head. I think the AI is good for people like
absolutely.
that, But let me skip a little bit ahead to the last year, 2013, that you were in charge. I was going to bring this up on a prior episode because we were talking about the Indian theme or the Native American theme, whatever you want to call it. But I figured since you were going to be on, I would just wait and let you talk about it a little bit. We were talking on a previous episode about the colors of the costumes and how that was kind of a little bit unique compared to other Native themes that were done. And you texted me shortly after it came out to kind of clarify why.
Right.
So go into that a little bit. Tell me why.
So the name of the theme said it all. It was a powwow. If you do your research on a powwow is a celebration. It was not necessarily it wasn't like Dances with Wolves type of Indian. It wasn't on the plains. It was a celebration. So what we did that year was we looked into celebratory Indian dancers. That was where we broke into it. And Russ Fama that year, he had a bunch of stuff and he showed us for example, you and I had talked about the pink and lime green suit. And I can't begin to tell you how many people were like, oh my God, hot pink Indians. Oh, well, where are you getting lime green Indians? Where's this coming from? But they're actually authentic color combinations. It was either a North or a South Dakota Indian tribe, celebratory color scheme. The black, white, and yellow, same thing. We had the pit band suit that I was in was the all white with the lime green and the purple. All these schemes, we were able to literally give Russ his palette without him having to kind of create anything himself. It was unique. It may have been too unique. I don't know, but it was exactly what we wanted to portray. We didn't want to portray kind of like when Frailinger did it. They did more of the Plains Indians. They did more of what you see, the bison type stuff. We wanted to do more of the, like with the spiritual side with the bull at the end, or it was bull. And it was white. Why was the bull white? I don't quite understand. It's a spirit god.
Right.
That was tradition. We had more help from Native American influence, people that we called and were willing to talk to us to tell us, yeah, you're going down the right path.
Oh, okay.
All this stuff that you're talking about, none of which was offensive in any way. You know, we wanted to be as close to perfect for their culture as possible.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. That's what we told Russ too. And we were like, Russ, please don't veer off of what you're doing, because we don't want it to seem, for all we know, we could change a color and that could be a red flag for us.
Sure.
But yeah, that whole theme revolved around a celebratory powwow. It was more of a modern day type Indian thing, you know. And if you Google it, you'll see the minute it comes up, you'll see all those colors. You're like, I never knew that there were that many color combinations in a Native American, scheme.
Yeah, I'm actually going to put up on the screen some of the pictures that you sent me while we're talking about this, so we can kind of compare, because it is very close.
It is.
It
really
almost,
is.
It's almost dead on.
Yeah. I mean, you have to have the mum aspect too. Russ had to put some mum in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun one to put together. It really was. It wasn't, especially when we talked to Chris musically too. It was not typical Indian theme like everyone's done. It's been done a million times, and it's always a beautiful theme. You can't go wrong. You cannot go. It's a home run costume wise
every time.
Yeah, absolutely. We wanted to take it to a different level,
different place.
I think we're always trying to do that with any theme that we do.
I took the words out of my mouth.
It's we could do the average everyday hillbilly theme, but not not patting ourselves on the back, but we try our hardest to make that ours, unique in some way, shape, or form. However we can do it, just try.
Yeah, I believe that's Quaker's strong area is you can do different themes, like themes that aren't typically done every year. But I think I would venture to say maybe better than any other band, you can take a traditional theme and make it like something you haven't really ever seen before. I think that's something that Quaker's really good at. Now, I didn't realize, because you were music director for 2014, right?
Correct. 14, 15, 16, and 25, 26.
Okay. So I didn't realize that you went right from theme right into music.
Yeah.
Why the switch? It was just
something I always wanted to do. And I kind of felt the time was right around there. In my life, at least, for what I wanted to do. It was just as much work. It is, if not harder, a job. It is equally as hard as being the vice president. It's more back end loaded. I mean, your vice president kind of hits the ground running February 1st, and he's busy up until a low point in, say, the end of March, and then middle of the summer he starts getting busy again. The musical director kind of, now your every job, your every rehearsal, all your preparations, and then not including all the stuff for New Year's, which not only you have on the back end, but that all kind of starts with meeting with your arrangers and whatnot in February and March. But it was just something I had loved. I sat, when I first got to Quaker City back in 1986, I sat on those steps and I watched Jimmy Fox sit in front of that band, and he was my teacher. He was teaching me saxophone, and I'd sit and watch Jimmy Fox, and I was in awe of the respect and how he commanded the band, and the sound that he got after these guys would work, and Quaker City's a band that nothing comes easy to us. We work very hard for the sound that we have. We're a blue collar band. We really are. We're a bunch of blue collar guys who have an opportunity to take their horns out a couple times a week and work on something and make it great. It does not come natural to all of us. There are some bands that are very fortunate to have a talent level that's, it's ridiculous. We do have incredibly talented guys, but they work really hard to get there. And to their work ethic is second to none. It really is, especially this year. When I tell you, you're going to hear a Quaker City that you've never heard before. These guys have worked their butts off, and it shows. It is a dynamic show, and it's been a lot of fun. But again, being music director of this band, as Jimmy Good always says, as captain, he says, it's a privilege for me to walk in front of this band. Well, it's a privilege for me to stand in front of this band every time that they strike up. And it's still to this day, it makes the hair on my arm stand up, you know?
Yeah.
Wednesdays come and I'm like a giddy school kid. I remember when I was a little kid, I couldn't wait to get out of school to run home. And I was at string band at 4:00 in the afternoon, even though it didn't start until 8. But, you know, we were playing ball in the schoolyard or whatever it was we were doing. I'm still like that today. You know, I'm thinking all day in work, what are we going to do tonight? How many things we're going to work on? You know, who's going to show up? You know, it definitely is still an exciting part of my life. And it was something, again, I loved the vice president role. When Johnny Raz took me under his wing years ago and showed me the ropes, I said to him, I said, someday I'm going to do this. I'd like to take this on. I think I can. And he was like, yeah. He said, I think you'd be great at it. And you know, we had a good run. I got a win right at the end of, you know, 2011.
Yeah.
We had a great time. You know, that was amazing. It was like finally we were able to get over that hump. And then that's when I started thinking, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do next? You know? And music director was, again, it was on the docket. It was kind of something I really wanted to do. So yeah, I tackled it and it's been good. It really has.
And 2 of maybe I would say 4 positions in string band that held a lot of prestige. You've held 2 of them.
Yeah.
With you know, theme and music director. In your opinion, and this isn't the most fun question in the world, but what position gets the most blame if something doesn't go right? Do you feel like one is heavier than the other, like music director or theme?
As far as a creative position?
Yeah, like just say something doesn't work out too well. You think you feel more blame on the music director or more blame on the theme committee?
Well, music director, I wouldn't say so much blame on, because if you're not writing the music, if you're not the music director and arranger, you kind of have a little more help, and it's a little harder to blame, you know, everyone, especially now with John. John's just, you know, and Chris too. The 2 of them, ridiculous talents. You know, they were not the reason why we didn't win, you know, in any instance. I would say probably the vice president could be, because just because he hatched it, you know, it was his baby. You know, we just kind of took our piece and moved on. But in Quaker City, it's they give that guy the benefit of the doubt, because they know how hard he works. You know, it's whether it was Sammy, myself, or even Chris now, who Chris is doing an incredible job just picking up kind of where Sammy left off. And that job has evolved. It's not just putting a theme committee together, getting a theme, putting costumes together. It's overseeing props, and it's masks, and it's somewhat, you know, masks and makeup and trucks, and it's all kinds of stuff that you know, thank God I didn't have to do all that stuff when I was vice president. I wouldn't have been vice president for as long as I was, you know?
Yeah. Everybody that's on the committee brings something to the table in some way that works on it.
You hope, yeah.
But not every single idea that's thrown around hits the show. Not even all of them may be the best. How did you, like, what was your personal style in handling that? Because, you know, the first couple meetings, right, is always the throw something out, see what sticks. You know, you kind of have to be the curator of that, but you can't be discouraging either, right?
No.
So take me through like the first couple meetings. You haven't picked a theme yet. You're still, you know, maybe weighing 3, maybe 4 of them, right? How do you curate those meetings? You know?
So first meeting, of course, is, what did we do good? What did we do bad? What are the ideas to try and fix those things? So that's always the first meeting. First and foremost, we may not even talk about a theme. Although guys do want to towards the end, but you know, you talk about all those things that you could try and fix. And, even when you win, you still, there were things that went wrong, things that didn't, you know, technically, come out exactly how you thought it was going to. It didn't translate, I guess. But by the time you get to the second or third meeting, you are now hoping in today's theme committee, you got a lot of really, really good teams, I'm going to say, of guys that are coming up and they're giving incredible presentations. For example, this year for this Funhouse theme, Nick Rothwine and Justin Figueroa and Dylan Fletcher, and I could be missing a few guys, but these guys came up with this just incredible presentation. You know, it was like on the TV, all the different slides, music out the wazoo. It was just like, it was no brainer. It really was no brainer for a lot of guys. You're not gonna woo everyone right away.
Sure.
But it was a no brainer for a lot of guys. And years ago it wasn't like that. Years ago it was, okay, well, what do you think? Okay, well, you throw this, throw that, throw this, throw that. I was always a big advocate of, towards the end, I'd say, well, how about space? Or how about this? Or just to see if the snowball that I threw turns into something bigger.
Yeah,
you know, as
sure.
it can it, you know, fish, carnival, whatever it might be. Only because, like, you'll hear some guys throw certain things out and they immediately, the room gets silent, you know? Okay, that one's probably not going to be talked about anymore. Let's move on to the next one. Let's give it a week. Let's, you know, and then now in today's world, we'll narrow it down to 3. Always narrow it down to 3.
Yeah.
And we'll come back and we'll talk about those 3 again, and we'll narrow it down to 2. And then we'll get to the one that we want to do. And then we'll talk about that one for a while before we submit, before it's ready to submit. And you're hoping you get, in Quaker City, it's a little bit different, as you know, you've been there. We don't pick our officers until almost the end of January.
Yeah.
So by the time they're ready to start getting a theme committee together and a meeting set, it could be mid-February.
Right.
And now with the submittal time frame that we have, they're trying to speed things up a little bit, which totally understand.
Yeah, sure.
We're like, you know, your timeline gets cut drastically, you know? So you're trying to do as best as you can with the time that you have.
Right.
But it really, in today's world, when it comes to meetings, thank God for these guys who are putting together stuff. They're doing it now. There's guys that you know, I had guys come to me a month ago and say, hey, working on something for next year. I think it's really cool. Awesome.
Cool.
Because you know what? We don't have time to say, okay, I'm going to start working on it in January.
Right.
Yeah, it's got to be ready for January. So yeah, and I think a lot of the string bands are probably working that way now.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you know, there's always, it seems to, I mean, at least in my experience, right? There seems to always be maybe one theme that doesn't get picked, but for some reason it keeps coming back.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like year after year. Do you think,
we had one recently. It was that Enchanted theme that,
oh, I know.
That was probably on our docket for 5 years straight before we finally decided, okay. And again, it was a presentation that lit our fire. Prior to that, there was really no presentation. It was just talk, and it was kind of hard to put.
How do you do it? What direction?
It was like, I mean, for me, it was cloud. It was very cloudy. I just couldn't see through the smoke to get to what was and it you know, I'm not a Lord of the Rings guy. I never really got into those movies, and I didn't know what half of that stuff was. But when you see it, when you see a visual, it's like, okay, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's a real funny one. Sammy may have told this on a prior podcast before, but when we did the hobos, so we're doing the hobos, and Sammy's hell bent on this junkyard thing, and I remember Kevin Rivel and I both together were like, what's junkyard? We're hobos, you know. Why are we in a junkyard? And it's still today. I just had this debate with the guy I'm working with, Tommy Wisniewski, the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, I totally didn't get it. What's hobos in a junkyard?" I'm like, "But it's not that. It's where else would you see a raggedy type person? You know, not just in a park, or you know, we're not going to put them in you know, dumpsters. You know, which has been done before, but you know, it was like, how about something else? How about another place where trash exists? A junkyard."
Right.
And there were all these different aspects. And Kevin Rivel and I just couldn't get past it. We're like, no. And we were hell bent on it. And Sammy finally convinced both of us. And, you know, he tells that story. I'm sitting there and I'm at the end of the bar. And Sam was like, we got to have something big for the end. And I was kind of not really putting ideas out for this one, because even though I was music director, I was coming off that gigantic high from the minor year. I'm like, you know, thinking to myself, oh, we're going to do hobos, and what are we going to do with this? And it's been done a million times, you know? And some reason this song pops in my head. I turned to Sam and I went, you got to have a dog. And his face dropped. And from that moment on, I was like 100% on board with that theme. But that's how that kind of stuff, it just pops in your head. I'm sitting there thinking in my head, I'm like, bad Leroy Brown. meaner than the junkyard dog.
Yeah,
Like, you got to have a dog,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Because I was thinking music. I was music director, and I'm thinking,
Right.
what are we going to play?
Yeah.
You know, we're in a junkyard.
With a visual tie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know?
Mhm.
But
Because not that the year before was totally straightforward. Like with the minors, you did things that was never done before.
Mhm.
But I think it's a little easier because of the subject matter.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So coming off, I can see what you're saying. Coming off
Yeah.
of that,
Yeah.
into this, right?
It was just because it was so broad. It was
Yeah.
like, it wasn't just, okay, we're doing hobos. It was now we stepped out of a box that we were very comfortable being in for years. I always relate to, I say about Hegeman's Household Havoc. One of the most creative shows I've ever seen.
Yeah.
String bands
Oh,
put out
yeah.
there. You know,
Yeah.
it was just over the top creativity. And I'll say to our guys a lot, I'll say that's a theme Quaker City would never, ever contemplate doing, because we could never step out of that box, that comfort zone. But I think back and I say, could you imagine if we did that? Oh my God.
Yeah.
We would have blew that out of
Mhm.
proportion. You know, it would have been ridiculous. And there are themes in my head that all you know, that have that type of you know, relativity, and you present them and you're like, nah, you see the blank faces.
There's a
of
couple of
everybody.
themes that I know that we talked about that I won't say what they are because we didn't do
Right.
them. That I was like, if only we would have just
Oh, yeah.
did this theme.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been
Yeah.
so cool.
Some controversial themes that
One of the themes that I'm talking about was one of them ones that kept coming back every single year.
Yes.
That we never
Yes.
wound up doing. And it
Yes,
was
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You
right.
know what I'm talking about.
I do.
I won't say because he didn't do it.
Well, a
so.
funny one was Danny Farr years ago. This was back the Johnny Raz years. He had been on the theme committee, and Christmas came up, and it was like all this stuff for Christmas, and we're just like, no way. Are you kidding me? No, who wants to play Christmas music all year long and all that kind of stuff? And you see South Philadelphia do that, and you're like, wow, what did we miss on? Holy, I mean, another theme that goes down in Mummer's history as you know, an incredible show.
Oh yeah, but before that, it was one of the worst produced themes ever. Because it was never done by a band with a lot of power.
It was hokey.
Always hokey.
Yeah.
Elves Winter Workout is what I think of when it
Right?
comes to,
Yeah.
like South Jersey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And I can see like a band like Quaker getting that put in front of them and being
Yep.
like, "Are you serious?" And there's
And
no way I'm doing
and
that.
that's the, you know, where almost some of your theme committee people, you almost want to send them to a clinic to be like, listen, we're gonna redo your creative aspect of your brain, because you know your kind of blinders are on, and you need to open yourself up. And I've started thinking that way, but it's hard to convince other people.
No, it is, and not everybody's a visual person, like internally visual. They need to see.
AI can help with that now.
Yeah,
it's like now with AI, you type in those. I mean, we've got two guys in a band, Ryan O'Driscoll and Timmy O'Driscoll Bear, and they'll just send stuff at that time of year, and it'll be like a game almost. Like, can you tell me what it is?
Sure.
And you see the aspects of something. It's like, oh wow, okay, I could see us doing a theme, related to that. You know,
because there was one time specifically. I don't remember what it was we were talking about or what year it was, but I know that there was a meeting. I was getting a little frustrated because I was given an idea, and I know that there was like two people. Doesn't matter who it was. Were like deadpan, like they were not getting it. And I remember Sammy taking
the switch is off,
like after the meeting, and being like, "I know that you can see it, but not everybody can think that way." So it just, But again,
it's frustrating, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's frustrating. I had a theme this year that I had presented, and what I thought was, I thought it was a winner, knockdown winner, and just you can't sell it. Nothing sells the car like the car itself. Remember used cars?
Yeah.
Just get inside. It's real nice. And I couldn't get them in a car.
Yeah.
I couldn't get them in to just see that it was
such a deflating feeling though. Cause you know how you can feel it and you're on your way to like the meeting to present it. And you're like, all right. And then you say it and you're like, you hit them with it. And it's like absolutely no reaction. You're like, all right, well, we're not doing this thing.
It's like if you were on the other side of you're the peanuts.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Now, this kind of leads perfectly into my next point that I wanted to hit with you. kind of sort of answered it, but I want to hit it specifically. Do you care too much what the actual subject matter of the theme is?
Only as music director, yes, because of what you're going to play, making sure that the subject matter has enough support musically, that it's not just typical, that it can be creative, that it can be, better than it's been before, and that's where this year, without diving into too many things, we were able to take what is could be a typical carnival type funhouse, whatever you want to call it, type theme. There's a lot of interesting musical choices, and they all relate to some part of the show, and it was, we kind of, we're going more heavy on GE, it's a big part. It's a big part of
nowadays
yes, whether it be GE music or visual. And, we're focusing on a lot of that stuff. So if somebody comes up with an idea, I have to sit back and I have to sit on that idea for a little bit and think, okay, what is it I can do with it?
Right.
That's not typical. It can't be typical, because then I'm not doing justice, not just to us, but to everyone who's going to watch it and say, that's not the same old thing, because how many conversations have you had where people are like, and I've had it with some higher ranking type people in Mums who have been on the higher creative type side. And they're like, yeah, same typical things are going up, this, that, and this. And I'm thinking to myself, well, yeah, every time they say that, I want to just take that theme and make it so much different so that they can never say it again. Clowns, it's just so generic. It's been done so many times, but there are so many other ways you could do it. You never know what someone's going to do.
No, it's true.
Hopefully the string bands or the brigades, whoever's doing the ideas now, and they're creative people, can sit back and say, I'm going to take whatever idea I can, and I need to make it more than it was before. I have to do something different with it.
Yeah.
And it don't have to be 4.5 minutes of different.
Yeah.
It just needs to have aspects of something that, oh, wow, okay, that was cool, somewhere, not just typical. And, it gets harder and harder every year.
It does.
It really does.
What kind of broke me out of that a little bit, and I think you'll understand where I'm coming from, is some of my favorite themes to work on, or some of the best results I think that I've gotten, are actually from themes that I don't really care for that much when they're presented, because you know how it is. That's an option, and you're going, I don't know, and then you say, all right, well, everybody take all your ideas, next meeting, come back, present what you have. I hit hardest the themes I don't like, because I say to myself, how can I make this a theme that I would be excited
Forced you to be creative.
Yeah, it forces you to be creative. So in a way, I think some of the best stuff I've done are for themes that I wasn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'll be 100% honest with you. It's my favorite theme I was ever in. I didn't love that we picked pirates. I didn't think that was that great of a choice. I mean, I like pirates, but I was like, it's just pirates.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I don't know. Because we did the Jewish, but the year before, which is different.
And that one was, we always say that to have it back, to do it again, and we knew going into that year, we were early. Yeah. And we were thinking to ourselves, what do we do that can be impactful, that they can remember, and that, we're not going to go crazy with.
Right.
Budget wise or whatever.
And not to cut you off, but to cut in for a second, that was, if I remember correctly, one of those end of the presentations. What about this theme? You brought it up.
Absolutely. It was because again, you're basing everything off a movie, or a musical, and it's like, well, I can't veer off of it too heavily.
Right.
If I do, then I could get those 10 people up in that booth. They've seen it 1,000,000 times. They know exactly.
There's stuff they're expecting to see.
Sure, absolutely.
They want the Quaker City Mum version of it.
Right, exactly.
But there is stuff they're hoping to see.
But we knew that theme musically was going to, it wrote itself. As Chris Farr said, the music fell on a paper, kind of, and we were going to be impactful. It was going to be a musical show that they will remember, and it was 18 degrees out that day. And, it still sounded great. The band was, the energy level was ridiculous. I mean, South Philly was amazing.
Yeah.
But there was such a gap between the two of us. We knew that we had to do something. And for us to hold second that whole way, that's, testament to the fact that theme was powerful.
Two very drastically different themes, too. Not even close.
Of course.
You know what I mean? I think maybe the closest you could say is the color palette, maybe, and not even
a little bit. We were a little darker than that.
Yeah. Maybe that was the different. I don't know, but I think the presentation of that was awesome.
It was. It was great. It was really to the credit of the people who put that together. Sammy and Charlie, how creative they were able to take a theme that is kind of blah. It really is suit wise.
Yeah.
That was the biggest hurdle, was how do we make the costumes elaborate? Like, how do we make it beautiful? What do we do to try and
how do you not make them all the same?
Exactly.
With the hat.
Sure.
Yeah, because it is a challenge. Which
It's typical. How do I take the typical out of typical? Pretty much,
Now, what do you think? What sends up your radar for that? I think this is it, and this can win. Is there a particular aspect of a presentation? Is there some element of the show that gets you, or is it just a feeling? What wins in your mind when you're piecing a show?
Well, first and foremost is if it's something you've always wanted to do. There's that one costume you always wanted to wear, something like that. But as music director, you start thinking immediately of there's a song that's got to be in it. This. But as like a vice president, for me, you read the room.
Sure.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, when I DJ and I look out in the crowd and I can see this isn't working, I put a theme out there as theme committee chairman, and it's like, bing, 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 bing. Oh yeah. And it just, the kindling turns into small flame, and small flame turns into fire. But for me personally, it's really, it's a musical selection that I know I want to. I haven't even talked to anybody about anything, but I know for a fact we're going to play this tune. Or it's a costume that I always wanted to wear, or always wanted to see the band kind of do. Or it could be a prop idea, It could be something that you may have had for 6 other themes that'll work for that theme too.
Yeah. Last 2 things before we wrap up. Is a theme that is an easier sell to the group? Do you think that or those are the ones that wind up turning out better? Do you think that there's a tie to that?
No, because when it's an easy sell, it seems to me like it fizzles out faster.
Yeah.
The idea is you're almost like you're rapid fire in the beginning, then you run out of ammo.
Yeah.
It's like, done. Damn, what happened?
Yeah. And then
the proverbial brick wall almost,
Yep.
And then that's when that other theme kind of creeps in there. And it's like, okay, well, can we talk about this? I had this idea, that idea. And then that starts going. And it gets down to that 3, like we talked about earlier.
Sure.
But we'll say, okay, go home and work on it and come back with something. Well, now guys get to their computers, and the one that was the shiny, new, it's gonna be great, that hit that brick wall. It always, I don't know that we've, in the last maybe 5 or 10 years possibly, that's been the choice.
Yeah.
Because it just, again, that wall's too big to get over. And something creeps up behind it. It's like, okay, yeah, there was just so many. It was that foresting.
Yeah.
Again, it kept coming back and kept coming back.
It really did. Yeah, it really did. And honestly, for me, just to touch on that theme for a second, the hang up for me was with that theme was that when I hear Enchanted Forest, I think of a lot of different things it could be. Like I think of like Shrek, right? Is Enchanted Forest, or is it like Dungeons and Dragons, or is it like Lord of the Rings? And for me, it was like, if we don't give the version that the judges are expecting to see, do we, you know what I mean? But that's kind of the risk of that theme.
Sure. And when you get so movie related to where that, and Sam, I'm sorry, I'm apologizing, but that ball rag, I believe it's called, that demon that we had in the middle of the theme.
Oh, the black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that thing was.
Yeah, I didn't know.
we could only hope that those 10 people, and probably they did, most creative people like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Where you got to hope that it's so cool that they don't really care
Absolutely.
exactly what it is. They
Absolutely.
just think it
Yeah.
fits,
Yeah. And it was like, okay, you got this big black demon. It could have easily been a dragon that could have been more related to so many other people, or some other type of beast.
Disney.
Yes. Yes. And it was like, okay, that was the stretch. Is it going to work? Who knows? We'll find out that day.
Maybe that was the reason that it wasn't a winner. Maybe it was the reason it was second instead of third, right?
Absolutely.
You don't know.
You got a lot of themes you could go back on and say that was a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Was it worth it? Juice worth the squeeze.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So to finish up, if you had, I'm putting you on the spot. If you had to put a word on Quaker 2026, what would you go with?
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for the fun house.
Absolutely. We're having a great time.
Good.
It's just been, it's been a lot of fun putting it together from the conception and all through working now, December for moms, it's Sundays aren't fun. It's get it.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Farrell's been doing an absolutely incredible job on Sundays with the guys. And we're literally having fun. Nobody's leaving rehearsal and been like, oh man, that's
good.
I don't want to come
That's
back
always
to
a
that.
good sign.
And Quaker's dangerous when we have fun, and
100%.
just saying, just putting it out there.
Very good.
When we have fun and we can go out and be the character, because that's that's kind of what we preach, be the character.
Yeah.
We can be a force to reckon with.
Good.
For sure.
Good.
But this is definitely a fun year. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if Quaker comes out on top this year, are you going to come back with us?
When Quaker, sorry.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Well,
Just
don't be
we
a
have
bush.
we have to say that. Sorry.
You're going to come back with us.
Absolutely.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thanks for joining us.
No,
tonight.
it's
It
been
was a
great. Thanks for having me. I
conversation.
appreciate it. Yeah.
All right. And happy holidays. Merry
You too.
Christmas.
Yeah. And to
All right.
everybody out there, Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Happy holidays.
And maybe you'll be back.
I will be back.
All right, thanks, Spanky. That was fun sitting down with him. It's always a good time catching up with him. He's always got something funny to say and some good stories to share and everything like that. But I know you guys are probably interested in moving forward and hearing what we got. So our next set of groupings that we're moving up to is kind of our middle of the pack area, our 10 to 7, and Justin is going to share what we got with that. So Justin, what do we got? 10 to 7.
Well, Bill, first you should have started off with these are just predictions.
Oh, yeah.
Don't jump down our throats.
They jump.
This group was tough. When I was trying to put my predictions together, and Mike said the same thing. So at 10, Ferko, 9, Greater Kensington, 8, Aqua, 7, Polish American.
Okay, there you go. I do like you said. I think these are probably maybe the hardest grouping, because these bands are so in the middle. I think are so improving every year and always changing and coming up and building and growing. And I mean, I feel like they can be in any order or even higher than that. Maybe even
Right.
It's not really a knock to be in any group, but I feel like this was the most challenging group to put together.
I agree.
Like I said, they're predictions, and hey, if anything, prove us wrong.
Good point.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Put it on Mum Nation. Put up your predictions.
Yeah. Again, if you want to comment your 10 to 7, or again, your whole thing, follow along with us, because we do want to hear what you say. Or if you think that we're wrong for whatever reason, instead of being rude.
But keep it respectful.
Yeah.
Keep it respectful.
Yeah. I hate when people do that. Like, it's
don't
one
have to
thing
get
to make
nasty.
predictions, but you got to say something that is, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Not helpful.
Yeah. If you don't think that, just say we made a prediction, right? Or anybody makes a prediction, and you don't think that your club was deserving of that, right? Why do you have to knock another club? Because you're doing the same thing. That's, you feel like somebody. I mean, anyway, I hate that. But before we get to the next grouping, we actually also sat down with Haley. She sat down with Captain of Ferko, Scott Ratzke, because not only is he the former drill director, right, of Ferko
And Cap.
and well, he's still the captain.
Well, but
They have a very unique theme this year that we were interested in hearing a little bit more about, and also just hearing some of the Northeast band traditions, removed from 2nd Street and from South Philly in general, to hear what they have going on. And it was a really interesting conversation. It was a good time just to get some insight on
a very unique performance that they're going to have for this year, Soul Station, right? It's called. So let's take a look with Haley sitting down with Captain Scott from Ferko.
All right, Scott, thank you for coming down to Word on the Street. It is your second year up the street as captain of Ferko. How excited are you?
I'm very excited. Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. I've been a big fan of the show for about 2 years now since you guys started putting it on Spotify and all. So
Thanks.
I really appreciate being down here.
So I know we were talking a little bit earlier here. Now it's your second year up as captain of Ferko, but last year, as your first year, you were captain and drill director too?
Yeah, I did. So I took on 2 positions last year. It was kind of a thing where I wanted to do drill for a while. I had also wanted to do captain too. I was lucky enough to be elected captain by the band. And at that point, I was like, all right, well, if I'm diving into captain, I might as well try both. Well, mistakes were made. But at the end of the day, everything's a learning experience. Every year you learn stuff. So although last year didn't go as we had planned and had hoped for, at the end of the day, I learned a lot of stuff that I can carry on throughout the rest of my Mummer career.
Sure. And with last year, I mean, you were saying earlier that 25 to 30% of Ferko is under 25.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good stat. And I think that's really exciting for a band that has a lot of energy. And, you know, you were saying even with your theme this year, Soul Station, that's super energetic. It's definitely in a slightly different direction of more traditional ethnic theme that was still very vibrant. How's the band taking this theme?
Honestly, I feel like the band loves it. It was something like at first when we first introduced it, they weren't too sure about it, but as they've seen the costumes, they've seen the drill, the props, they're really starting to get into it. The vibes have been up. Just yesterday at rehearsal, we had a little group huddle at the end, just, you know, giving information like every band does at the end of rehearsal. And one of our members put their hand in the middle and we did like a little huddle. We were like, oh, Ferko on 3. And as soon as we counted it off and put our hands up in the air, we actually heard a train horn in the distance go off. So I don't know if that's a sign or what, but I mean, we're definitely feeling really good. The vibes are up at Ferko.
That's good. And that's actually really funny. What are the odds?
Yeah.
In the position that you're in as captain, but also someone who wants to boost morale, you know, you kind of have to keep things a little political, a little tight-lipped. How do you boost morale without having, you know, your band be too loose-lipped? How do you keep things somewhat balanced of getting them excited, but kind of keeping it reeled in?
Yeah. I mean, obviously we don't want to give our whole show away because like you said, people, you know, they get excited and lips start flying a little bit, but with this band, you know, they know to keep tight-lipped about certain things. With this show, they've really gotten involved with it. They've really put in a lot more work than I've seen the last couple of years. And I think it's just because the energy's really been there. But yeah, I mean, it's been a little difficult, but at the end of the day, it's just giving little tidbits that pique their interest, that make them want to keep coming to rehearsals, make them excited for New Year's Day and like to want to be there. You know, it's a hobby at the end of the day. We should enjoy what we're doing.
I definitely don't disagree. And with this theme, I mean, I love any decade or ever theme or anything like that. And, you know, I think maybe it was Mike that said it earlier in the year when we were first talking about some of our first impressions of the themes. This is such a music-driven theme. How's that been with the band?
Yeah, I mean, Mike, you hit it right on the head earlier in the year. This was a theme that was picked music first, but it was also a theme that we picked because of the visuals that we could pull off. Music is something we've always been a strong suit of Ferko. We had a top 5 Billboard chart in, I think it was the 1950s or 1940s. But that's always been a strong suit of Ferko. So that's really where we wanted to get back to our roots this year, focus on our music, but also have some really cool visuals with that as well.
Yeah. So with the types of songs that you're going to have, I mean, I'm hoping some are really recognizable. And I think that's what you were saying earlier, is that a lot of the music maybe this year is a little bit more recognizable than something that's more, you know, ethnic, traditional, kind of more niche. So what kind of vibe can we expect in the show?
Definitely more of a disco vibe. Music from the music side. In the visual side, you will get a nice kind of combo of the train yard and the disco vibe. And even in the music, like you do still have those hints of train yard sounds that you would hear. But it's mostly focused on that disco music, that's that high energy that everyone wants to hear.
Mm-hmm. And you were saying that, you know, you're really bringing this like Soul Station, like that visual, that concept to life.
hmm Yeah. So basically, our concept is Soul Station for this year. It's basically I'm the train conductor, and it's an old abandoned train yard that gets brought to life and disco-fied, as you could say. Don't want to give away too much, but definitely look forward to it.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I think this was one of the themes when it came up. I thought that was a really good move for Ferko. I feel like you get to tap back into the musical strengths that the band has. So I think it's really exciting, and I'm excited to what to you guys do with it. But going on a little bit more with just your New Year's prep in general. What's kind of your thought process as captain, not as drill director this year, and how do you kind of run the gamut for Ferko?
So in my role as captain, I try to just be the motivator, bring the energy, bring the vibes to rehearsal. If there's membership that might be a little bit down, try and pick them back up. That's where I really see my role, and just being someone that the membership can come to, talk to. That's really where I see my role at. I also help out with the drill director too, Byron Friend. He's a first year drill director this year. He was a member of the Penn State Blue Band, so he's got a lot more experience than I do writing drill and actually marching in like a professional marching band.
I think that's with like a lot of newcomers and younger people. You have to try to find the talent wherever you can too, and not everyone's just going to be a mummer, right? You have to find the parts that fit into it. And I know even with like some of your dancers, that's the case. And you guys always have those elements that trying to keep the band together, building the band up, exploiting those talents as best as you can year to year. And I think having this drill director come in, I think will be really interesting to see how that changes your show, and hopefully for continuing the better. So I'm really excited to see that. So we heard from the Mars Chorus already in this special, and was it a couple of weeks ago they came up to some of the Northeast bands? Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. Joey Toal and the Mummers Chorus came up and they visited us, all the other Northeast bands, put on a great performance. They always sing all the Christmas carols and all that. So it was great seeing them. We love that they actually came up to the Northeast for once, because usually they just stay on 2nd Street. But it was a nice surprise for us. We really appreciated it.
Yeah, I know they were really excited about getting to expand their tradition up there, because, I mean, you guys are in your own little bubble, and it sucks because there's so much that goes on around 2nd Street. But how do you guys keep that unity, at least with the bands that are up there? How do you keep that your vibe going, your traditions going?
Yeah, I mean, it's not 2nd Street. I mean, we all know that. We're not all on the same block, but we are relatively close to each other. So we do find ways throughout the year to hang out with each other and build that camaraderie that this hobby needs so much. Aqua does like an Olympics every year where they come up and all the different bands in the Northeast compete for like a prize. But I know they do that. And then us and Aqua, like we serenade each other the week or two before New Year's every year.
Oh, okay.
But they'll come up to us. They do a little march behind Bridesburg, and they go all around, and they end it with us. And then they'll play their songs. We'll play a couple songs for them, and then we get together at the end and we play Auld Lang Syne. So it's a really nice tradition, and it really does just build camaraderie up within the hobby.
I was gonna say, we actually last year we had Kate on, and he's another young captain from the Northeast. Do your captains, like, do you guys talk to each other at all, or are you guys just in competition? Like, how's that go?
Yeah, I mean, like New Year's Day, obviously that's a competition. But the rest of the year, like I got nothing but respect for those guys. Kate's someone I've known for many years. Same with like Austin Tilley, he's another second year captain. But I mean, me and Austin, we would play kickball together at tournaments. I would go play kickball with Aqua. But yeah, I mean, the captains, we do talk. Maybe not as much as I'd like to, but it's still a fun time, just being able to chat with them and pick their brains about, especially guys with a lot of years under their belts, like Denny Palandro. He's a amazing mentor. But just even like some of the other guys in the band that were captains, it's nice to be able to talk to them and just get little notes, little tips that can improve me for New Year's.
If you could give yourself some advice from last year, right? If you could tell yourself first year captain coming up, what advice would you give yourself?
Don't be as stressed out about it. Last year, I think it was a combination of doing drill director and captain that there was just a lot of stress on me, and also getting the sick the week before New Year's. That doesn't ever help. But it was a lot last year, and going into this year where I don't have to worry about taking on 2 roles. I'm just focused on the captain role. That's a lot less stress off my shoulders going into this year, but I feel like going into New Year's Day, just keeping the band calm, keeping myself a cool head, but most importantly, being there for the membership and making sure, like, if there's a first year member that's a little anxious about going up to them, talking to them, making sure that they have a clear head going into the judges and that they don't freeze up when they see the lights.
Now, how long have you been doing this?
So I've been doing this. This will be my 16th parade this year.
Okay.
This tradition goes back in my family 4 generations. It's actually funny you brought that up. This is my family's 100th year marching with Ferko.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a big year for my family with this band. It's just a tremendous honor to even march with this organization, but to lead the band up the street. I get goosebumps just like talking about it. Like it's amazing. It's all I've wanted as a little kid was just to be a part of this band. And just to get to see the growth through the band throughout the years, in the good and the bad. It's just awesome to see this band keep persevering every year and overcoming our challenges.
I mean, definitely. And I think, being younger, you have such an appreciation for everything that came before you and how much things continue to adapt and what it feels like small role you might have in that long history. It's definitely, I mean, when you look back, it is such a big role because year to year, we were talking earlier, you never know what this is going to turn into, how things are going to go. So even just your sliver of Ferko's history means so much, and having that energy and, like you said, perseverance, I think is really important. And it's nice to see that there are a lot of other younger captains and everything too that are keeping that alive. And, within this tradition, across all divisions, but especially, in the bands where there's just so much going on and trying to, not be so stressed out about, musical talent and drilling and this and that and whatever. So I think that's really awesome that you get to partake in the 100th year for your family. That's really awesome.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I do it at the end of the day. Like I love this hobby. I love being a part of string bands, playing music and drilling. But if it wasn't for the family aspect, I mean, I don't know if I'd even be involved, but just having that family tree and the legacy in the Ferko string band, it just makes me want to work harder every day and do the best we can for Ferko.
Yeah. So in talking with you on how you did take on a role of not only captain, but drill director, you're crafting the show, I'm sure you're thinking of a million things at once, but how do you put together a show that's not so central to you and so focused on, the captain's role?
Yeah, that was something that from day one when I took that position, I really didn't want to incorporate the captain role into that so much, just because I was like, I'm drill director, I'm focused on drill. Like that's the hat I'm wearing at that moment. That's what I'm focused on. It's about the band. It's about making sure they sound good, musically balanced, but also look good visually. So that was something I really focused on. And I had a great committee last year that helped me out. And we were able to come up with a good drill. But yeah, after that was like the question, like, all right, well, where's the captain going? How's he going to be incorporated in the show? I'm like, all right, well, it was something that we have a great theme committee. And as drill director, yes, you have control of the show, but you want to get those things approved by the committee, and everything's a committee decision at the end of the day. So that was something I had kind of run by them, like, all right, like I think I should be out during this scene, but I don't know if it, is 100% fits that scene. Like, what do you guys think? Like, just getting some feedback from them and having that trust in them and them having that trust in me to like make the right decisions. That went a long way.
I'm sure it made you feel a bit more comfortable too, knowing that, your ideas, once there's some checks and balances, having the confidence to be like, okay, I trust them. I'm not going to feel silly or overconfident, like I'm not going to feel cocky doing what I'm doing because they trust in me and I get to trust in them. And now we're going and we're doing the thing that we agreed on. So I think that's really cool. And I think it's what you said, putting on a different hat. I think that's really important that you're able to kind of separate the two and not blend it too much. But I'm sure it was a challenge. And I mean, I think if you go back, one of the last to kind of take on both is Billy Spezial.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure it was a lot for you to think of. So what were your thoughts on that when you're taking on this role?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's always in the back of your head when you take on those two positions, because he was the last guy to do it. Not in Ferko, but like the last guy to do it very successfully in Ferko. Mm-hmm. I know Thomas Diamore did it for a year or two when he was captain as well. But yeah, I mean, it was a big challenge. Just having that in the back of your head. But like I said, like the committee kind of grounding me and just, letting me know like, yeah, like we got your back, like we're behind you. That really gave me the confidence I needed just to focus on just doing drill director and distinguishing the two roles.
Now, did you take any sort of influence from him or Thomas?
Oh yeah, I mean, both of those guys are huge mentors in my life. I still text Thomas pretty regularly just to check in, like every couple months, but just seeing how he's doing, see if he's got any advice for me. But that guy, he's been a huge inspiration in my life. And same with Bill Speziel. I got to march with him once for the 2016 serenade when we serenaded South Philadelphia. And we did our rendition of Baja Banditos, which he was the captain for. Okay. And we actually brought him out at the end, and he did his bell solo because he was a bell player before he was captain. So he did that, and it was a really great moment. But Bill was a great inspiration for me as well. Just looking at that streak they had in the 90s from 96 to 98, I mean, he was electric. No one was touching him. He was a pure showman. And same with Thomas. I mean, both of those guys are just showmen. And I'm just trying to strive to be like them in every aspect that I can.
I think it's really nice that you have like really great icons to look towards and to, obviously you're going to make captainship your own and whatever that looks like, right? But at least it's nice to have such an established mentorship with people in Ferko's history. But what instrument did you play?
So I played alto sax with the band, okay. And I played that for about 5 years. And then after that, or before that, I had done 10 years as a marshal.
Oh shit! Okay, cool. That's exciting. I mean, so you really know the show and really know how to appreciate that aspect, not just music playing.
Exactly. Yeah, I've been involved in every aspect of the show at this point. So when I was younger, I'd help out at the warehouse a lot. I learned how to kind of build props a little bit. I'm still not a handy guy. I don't build props now, but I still help out. I can paint props all black or all white, just for a base coat, but that's about all I'm doing there. But costume wise, I've helped out Jeff Kirby. He's a costumer for the Downtowners, and he does my captain suit as well. But he's taught me a lot about costuming, so I can bring some of that knowledge to Ferko. So any suits we need modifications for, if we're making back pieces or stuff, we can just add that in there. I can just give a little, like, my 2 cents on what I do know, and maybe it helps some, maybe it doesn't, but at least it's knowledge that we can try and use going forward.
Now, with Ferko's captain, how involved are you really with the committee directly? Are you just like an added member? Do you just get a position automatically? How's that work?
So this year it changed. Before it was just an officer position that was elected by the band. This year they decided it's still elected position by the band, but they have added the captain role as a part of the theme committee. Okay. And they separated the theme committee chairman position into 2 spots, a logistic director and a creative director. This way, we have someone focused purely on the logistics of the show and what we need to pull off. And then we have someone who's more on the creative end, coming up with more ideas and stuff. My role kind of just fits in there, where I give ideas to the show, creative ideas with whatever I can give. But my main focus is what I'm doing in the show and how I can give more or give less, or just give my 2 cents on what I think about my role within the performance on New Year's.
Sure. I think that's really exciting. I mean, and how are you feeling about this shift from last year, how things are organized?
I feel like this year compared to last year, it's a complete 180. It was very difficult last year, and that might have just been me doing troll director and captain, but I think if you'd ask a lot of the membership, they probably agree that last year was very difficult in a lot of ways. But this year, it's completely 180. Like I said, after that theme submission went in, band morale's been high. We've been excited. We've been having theme parties, open houses that are centralized, like themed around like disco balls or train yards. Like, we've been dressing up. We've been having a good time. But yeah, the energy's really there, and I'm really excited.
Now, if you can describe your theme in 3 words, what would it be? Or just let's just say your show. Okay.
Well, I want to say energetic because it's a disco theme. I feel like that kind of goes without being said, but we'll say energetic. I'm going to say vibrant. The colors in the show are very vibrant. And the third one, to tie it into the 70s aspect, we'll say groovy. That'll be the third one.
Okay,
yeah.
I like that. I'm very excited. I'm a big fan of 70s music. I'm really excited to see what you guys do on New Year's. Thank you, Scott, for coming down. And be sure to check out Ferko on New Year's Day.
Thank you.
That was a good conversation. Like, you had fun talking.
Yeah, Scott was cool. We were actually catching up when you and Spanky were talking, and very easy to talk to. I think especially when we have guests on that are familiar with the show, you feel like you already know these people. Like, it's so easy to just sit down and bullshit. So.
He's actually another guy that reaches out every once in a while and comments on the episodes and stuff. He listens to them all. One thing, I don't think he said it on camera, but he told us after the fact that they did away with the captain's interviews for this year on the broadcast.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I think he may have mentioned that they're doing something like pre-tape one. They're going back to that or something like that. But I kind of don't like the live ones because they all ask the same questions. It's always asked from somebody who has no idea about Mummer. Yeah,
it's like have someone write the questions out that know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
Plan it.
Then you're trying to talk to a guy who's like gasping for air.
It's like 20 seconds after you step off.
Yeah.
Give the guy water and like a breather and then do the interview.
How do you think you did? Is anybody going to say, I think we're not as good as I thought we were going to do? Everybody's going to say.
I think we stunk.
The bus broke down. And we ran out of sandwiches.
He does a pretty cool thing every Saturday.
In a dirty container.
when he wears the old costumes and performs.
Oh, yeah.
I love how he does it. Last year, was last year the tie?
Yeah.
Yeah, stop reminding me.
Welcome to the episode, Billy.
Well, we were up at the Stars, and he did the Ferko theme with Bill Spezial was the captain.
Oh, yeah.
Hot wax.
Yeah, which is one of my favorite themes of all time. And he wore the costume, and I just loved it.
That was cool to see.
That's pretty cool thing that he does. I hope he keeps doing it.
Can't believe how good a shape that costume is in. It's been on
seriously,
mothballs, man.
Mothballs in the bag. Like vacuum seal.
That was in the 80s, right?
87.
87.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which was a good parade, by the way, 87.
That was a very good parade.
All right, so getting closer to the top here, I'm going to give you the next grouping here, which is 6 to 3. All right, so now we're starting to get into the territory where you really want to be. This was still challenging, like I think around the 4, 5, 6 mark was pretty hard for me because again, the small groupings like within 3 prizes of each other is so tricky because it can go either way, up, down, whatever. But I'll kick it off. Graphic up on the screen here. At 6 prizes here, we have the Woodland String Band.
Moving
on up. At 5th prize, we have Avalon String Band. At 4th, we have No 4 due to a tie for 3rd, which is between the Fralinger String Band and the Uptown String Band. So another tie for 2026.
There's your tie.
I think you meant
Love
Fralinger String Club.
Yeah. Did anybody else notice that last year? The parade, the graphic comes up. Haley pointed out, it says Fralinger String Club.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, go back and look at it on YouTube. Before they start.
Looking at it in the car.
Fralinger String Club. Just pointed that out like a few weeks ago.
Were they the only one?
No, I pointed out like almost immediately.
Well, yeah, but then you said it again like a few weeks ago. I had completely forgot about it.
It's good eyes.
Yeah.
I was like, afraid of the dog, so I didn't really catch.
Yeah, the crack dog. Billy, all the other graphics were right, but at the end of Quaker, the guy throws it to the interview with Jimmy for the captain of Quaker Town.
Quaker Town.
So, but their graphic was right though.
We actually got that one year from a judge. All right, he said, "All right, Quaker Town String Band. I'm very excited to see your performance." And then I think it was the toy year because the spaceship came out as a back piece and went down, and he called it. He said, "I love the metamorphosis of your spaceship," and we were like, "Metamorphosis of the spaceship."
Metamorphosis.
Those some of those judges' comments that stick with you over the years.
My favorite one of all time was Avalon 2003 when we did the Jesters, because we were all the Jester costumes with the pom-poms and all the colors and everything like that. And the one judge the entire time said 1,000,000 times, "I just love all of your balls." Like, he must have said that like 3 or 4 times. We listened to that tape over and over again the night of the tapes because we were dying laughing. It was hilarious.
Good balls that year.
Had a lot of balls that year.
Hornet Highland, the one judge loved the monkeys that we had in the back.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying this.
Oh, the guys hanging on the chandeliers?
Monkeys.
Yeah,
that doesn't even make any
Haunted
sense.
Not
Why?
even close.
No.
Yeah, you're way off
we
there.
had dead monkeys in
Dead monkeys.
Scotland.
Okay. Well, at least he loved it, though.
He loved the monkeys.
I like that theme.
I did,
I
too.
love that.
I liked it better than the first Scottish, and you got 2 prizes lower.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far.
Really?
That was probably one of the best.
Yeah, but 03
performances on
Brigades
that
was a
floor,
good
I think.
was a good year. Because the Jokers were good, too.
Jokers were the corner.
Yeah, that was good.
That was really good.
I wouldn't have been disappointed. I mean, I'm not saying I'd take it away from the Stars, but the Jokers one, I've been fine with that. I've been okay with that.
In 03?
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's a tough one.
Stars territory, bud.
Yeah, all right.
I've never seen 100 guys dance that well.
No.
in my life.
Yeah.
At a
Yeah,
wedding.
that was one of Quailly's
That was
best
they were
ones.
on point, man.
Mhm.
Yes.
I like the more, not to take a detour, but I don't know how. Do you like the more drill brigade versus like the heavy choreography stuff?
No, I enjoy like the heavy choreography, especially
Yeah.
the clubs with females.
Yeah.
They just dance so well,
Yeah.
and they out dance the guys, and it cracks me up.
I like a little mix of both,
Mhm.
like you guys were
Yeah.
this past year, last 2 years really. Like you had some choreography, you got some drill.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's our biggest obstacle.
Yeah.
Is drilling against them girls.
Well, we'll see. I'm excited for the run through.
Mhm.
We'll see. But we're keeping it string band. Keeping it
Yeah,
string
and that
band.
hand last year. Which is
Be
still
nice.
this
Be
year.
nice. We have a brigade episode coming. You can fight then. You can
Yeah.
sit next to each other.
Yeah,
That.
I'll just sit behind the counter and watch.
But all right. So before we get to the big guys, all right, the final 2 spots, we have one more segment. We sat down. Well, Haley actually sat down with at the Downtowners Club, right?
Yeah,
Couple
the
Sundays.
Downtowners Club.
Downtowners String Club. A few. Was it like last Sunday?
It was last
Yeah.
week.
And with the Mummers Chorus, that has been a tradition for so long, going around and spreading their holiday joy to all the clubs. And they've expanded to the Northeast clubs this year,
Yeah.
which was a nice touch. But
Big
she had a big move.
moves.
Big
Big
move.
moves, yeah.
Joey Toll's bringing them
They're
up
on
to
tour.
the next level. I know, they're on tour.
They are accepting applications as well.
Oh, there you
So,
go. There you go.
Soprano, alto, tenor, whatever you could sing.
Whatever.
As long as you know the lyrics, you're in.
Or
And per
Yeah.
what Bobby Galvin told me on Sunday, if you can drink beer,
Mhm.
you're in.
Okay.
That's
Well, there
good.
you go.
Drink beer and show up for
Giant
practice.
pub
We're all in.
I'm in.
There you go. Well, we had a chance to have Joey Toll and Bobby Galvin from the Mummers Chorus be part of the episode and kind of fill us in on some things going on and traditions and whatnot, and take a look. It was a fun conversation.
Well, today is a special day for most of us, for all of us, I should say, all mummers. But it's especially special for us. As you see, we're dressed alike. We belong to the Joe Schubert Mummers Chorus. What we do is we have a number of gentlemen from different organizations, different clubs, and all we do is sing together, try to bring happiness and joy to everybody, every place we can. We've been noted to sing. We've done a CD. We've sang in Italy already. We've sang on different weddings, different funerals, just any occasion that anybody wants to hear our voices. Right now, we had been up to 27 when our existing leader passed away. Now we're down to about 12 or 13 guys, which is not a lot, but it's enough to keep us going, okay? And we have a feeling that this is what we like, this is what we enjoy, and we bring joy to wherever we go. Today is the day. What we do is we go around to all the brigades and all the string bands in the city, especially in South Philadelphia. And we just go in, sing 2, 3, 4 songs, and we're done for the day. And we go to the next one. As a matter of fact, you can tell that every club we went into, we have a beer.
Some libation.
We're pretty strict on this. We try to contain everybody, but by the end of the day, at the end of the night, we're feeling pretty good, and we've had a good time. That's the most important thing. Joey, our director, he leads us along and gets us booked for different places we go to sing, and it's his pleasure to keep everything going.
I try.
Joey, you're on.
After 5 years being director of this chorus, I got these guys back to where Joe had them. And we all made a promise to Joe Schubert before he passed that we would keep this going. Now we're down to 12, 13 guys. We're still keeping this group going. One former captain of the Downtowners, Jimmy Joya, God rest his soul, said, "You guys are around longer than the Mummers Club." And we're still going. How many years, Bob? 40?
I started singing with them back in the early 60s.
It was
I've been in the club
Serenaders.
62 years, so it's been a long time.
It was the sing-along with Joe Schubert, the Serenaders. Then it became the Mummers Chorus in Philadelphia. Our director Joe Schubert passed away in 2010, we decided to rename the group after him, to keep his name going.
Everybody on 2nd Street knows Joe Schubert. And they know of the chorus.
Yes.
Not that they're crazy about us, but they tolerate us. When they see we're coming in, they say, "Here they come." How do you keep the Mummers choirs from not singing? And they say, "Shut off the taps." But that's only a joke.
2 weeks ago was a project of mine. 2 weeks ago, we did the Northeast String Bands for the first time ever. We only mainly focused down here. But I said, let's try going up the Northeast bands, Ferko, Kensington, PA, and Duffy, to let them know who we are. They know slightly of us, but now they'll know who we are.
And I'm sure they won't forget.
We
You
rented
guys
a bus
bring
to go
smiles
up there.
We
everywhere.
rented a bus.
There you
to
go.
up for 4 clubs, yes.
We were a hit. There's no doubt about it.
That's
They
true.
enjoyed us, and we enjoyed going there. And we were happy to be able to be a part of them, because they don't ever get to see us. You know.
And we were out of our elements going up to the Northeast. As I said, we're used to just doing down here in South Philly, 2nd Street clubs.
Yeah.
And we rehearse twice a month on a Monday night at a different Fancy Brigade club. Now we have string band clubs, comic clubs. We rehearse that. For an hour and a half, 2 hours.
We used to spend a lot of time in Wildwood too. During the summer,
Okay.
we used to sing down there and belong to the parade they had down there. And we've been active with Mummery, wherever it was.
And every year we do the 2 Mummers Masses, the Fancy Brigade Mass and the New Year's Eve Mass at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church.
Very nice.
And pretty much that's it.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I know you always bring a smile and laughter
You're
everywhere
quite
you
welcome.
go,
It's been
and we all
it's been our
appreciate
pleasure,
it.
honey. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
All right. Well, thank you to Joey and thank you to Bobby for being part of that. We got maybe another little treat from the Mummer chorus as we move forward. You got to stay tuned. But I know that everybody's been waiting for this, I'm sure, the predictions for our winner. So what we're going to do is I'm going to throw it over to Haley, and she's going to give you the winner first and then give us who we have in second. But I will say before I hand it over, of all the 4 of us, our predictions, 1 and 2 and 13 and 14, I think were the only 4 prizes that we had that were unanimously the same across all of us. So take it away. What do we got?
So at your number 1 spot, South Philly String Band.
There you go.
Shocker.
Well,
And now you can't say that
You
anybody
voted.
favored anything because for one, you voted and it was an average. So you
I
can't.
voted for South Philly,
I,
and I'm a Quaker guy.
I know
Okay.
you. I know.
so by deduction, that will leave Quaker City at number 2. However, I will say, obviously both bands, I mean, they tied last year, so I think
Yeah.
either way, you can't really be too wrong. But yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked that we all had them the same, because I think coming off of a tie year, everyone's eyes are going to be on them, and I'm sure the competition is going to be very heavy between the two.
Although
So,
when I
I'm
made my
intrigued.
prediction, I didn't know. I thought Quaker was the Funhouse. I didn't know they were the Joker's Funhouse. And their graphics are pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
Well, the Joker has 3 fingers in the one AI
Really?
version of the logo. I have good eyes. Didn't we already discuss this?
Oh, there you go.
Any error, I'm going to pick it
Counting
out. So.
fingers,
The
picking out the string club.
The 3-finger Joker.
Yeah.
If they get third, that would suck.
You didn't hear that down the pipeline? That Jimmy
Yeah,
was
where
gonna
you
be the
been?
Joker?
No, I
Their club, actually,
Oh,
I passed by. I had to run to the club real quick, and their lights are green and purple right now. Looks
Oh,
sharp.
that's cool. Very nice. Yeah, I'll
It's
actually
his
say,
color. Where? It's his
Bill,
colors.
wake up. Welcome to
I walk by
2025.
that
Where you
club
been?
every night. I don't
Well,
know
it's
how I
green
didn't
and
see it.
purple tonight.
I'm gonna look now.
Yeah, take a look
Oh
up.
my god. So, boy. I mentioned earlier that I had done a bunch of different predictions that I thought were different scenarios and averaged them together. The reason I did it was because the 1 and 2 spot I was really back and forth on. So
Yeah.
some of mine, I went in one way with Quaker, some I went with South Philly. I think even a couple of them I had Fralinger in there because I was so back and forth. But when I averaged it together, it actually did come out to South Philly had the lowest number, so they would have been the top spot for me. And then the 3 of you guys had that and Quaker number 2. So again, by deduction, I think I have actually all of the numbers. And yeah,
Wow.
and South Philly actually averaged out to a 1.0 because everybody had them number 1, and then Quaker was a 2.0 because everybody had them 2, and then with Fralinger and Uptown tying for 3rd, they were at a 3.5. So it was pretty.
When was the
Pretty
last
good.
time one of them two didn't win? Would it be Woodland? Is it that far back?
No,
I thought it was
would have been
Fralinger.
Fralinger.
We just talked about this. When was the last time?
Yeah,
What was Fralinger the last time they won?
robots.
20.
That's right. Okay.
15.
15?
We did talk
Yeah,
about
15.
that. Yeah, they had the Transformer dude, right?
Yeah, and then almost every other year it's been South Philly, Quaker,
the what, the
South Philly,
Machine?
Quaker, yeah, the Machine. Yeah, it's almost fitting that the tie happened because it's been bouncing back and forth between the two, and then they both won, so it kind of like reset. But somebody could be going back to back or back to back to back,
Yeah.
Right.
which is odd because that has never been an option ever for 2 bands to have a chance to repeat. Obviously, because
Yeah.
no one's ever tied before. But I want to actually ask you about that real quick because you were a part of it. Well, what was that reaction like? A while back, I asked Jimmy was on right after New Year's of this year, and I asked him about that from the Quaker side. Well, what was it? Take us through like the whole moment of that for you guys.
First off, it took forever to get the prizes.
Mhm.
So we were like, did we not win? They afraid to tell us. But it was about the disqualifications that was taking so long.
Okay.
So when he announced the tie, I think it was just mass confusion
Yeah.
because there's been ties, obviously, in other prizes, but we'd never thought we'd see a tie at first place. So we were like confused, then a little mad, maybe a little angry, then back to being confused, all within a couple seconds until he announced the captain's prize that Denny won. So we just went bananas. We didn't even care anymore at that point. We celebrated, popped some champagne, and then back to being confused.
So they did announce it as a tie, right?
Right.
First,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I know that when Jimmy was on, he said after the fact that they discussed like they weren't sure if they should have just said they won, let the celebration happen, and then said, "Hey, there was a tie," but they didn't do that. But they were kind of saying, "I don't know if we should have done that or not done that."
Yeah,
Like,
it's you weigh your options
Yeah.
at that point.
I think you have to say it was a tie first because I think the "we won" celebration would have been way too long to reel it in and be like, "Hey, by the way, it was a tie
you're
though."
not calming that
No,
celebration down.
no. But what did you do? Like, was there any discussion what to do with the actual trophy? Because you would have had it already. So, like, what do you usually whoever like wins if it wasn't the same band, you take it to the band that won. But like, what do you just keep it? Like, I don't know what you.
My thought process was we just keep it.
Right.
It's ours. You know, we didn't know what they were going to eventually decide on January 2nd, what to do with it. And then I didn't even know they were having a second trophy made.
Right.
Whenever that was discussed. But yeah, we're like, come pry it out of our hands. Well, we were going.
It's yours
Like,
until you lose it.
Yeah.
And
I
you
guess that's
didn't-
true, and you didn't lose it. Yeah, so
You
that
didn't
I
lose
guess
it.
that's true. Yeah. Now, what do you do with the second one? Now it was only good for the 1 year. Put it here unless in case there's a tie again.
honestly, I say you keep the newer model, and that. Gets
And
passed
yeah,
around,
that's a
and
good
then
idea.
retire that older one to Quaker City because they have the most first prizes.
Oh, that's a good
what
idea.
I
that
would
is a good idea.
personally say to do.
That is a good idea. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I was actually just thinking that if you were going to retire one for now, anyway, because they ruled out a tiebreaker, so that it could happen again.
Which they should go back to the table on that.
Yeah, but if you're going to keep it,
Now, what would be your solution to that?
that's a very hard call.
Man, that's a loaded question because now if they would have went with music playing as the tiebreaker, Quaker tied Fralinger in music playing. So
Back to another tie.
but you can't go completely based on music when it's an all-around
Right.
performance. You know? Even
I'm
though we
on
are
record
string
saying
bands,
music
I don't think
first.
you can go solely on music. And then they said no to the captain thing, which I also agreed with. So I don't know. I don't.
I
really
think
have
the
a
only fair
solution.
way to do it would be you'd have to sit them down and they'd have to judge it again off of the footage.
Yeah. Okay. I did think about that. Like, get the TV, go on YouTube, rewatch them, give them a piece of paper that says Quaker City and South Philly and circle one, fold it, and hand it.
Yeah, like no score. You just whoever you like better.
Whoever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever you were entertained by the
Mhm.
most, right? Because like you say, old school, like you'd flip a coin. Now you got a 50% chance of winning, 50% chance of losing. So it's.
I think that would be a terrible idea to flipping a coin.
Flip a
Can you
coin.
imagine losing
Yeah,
because you
that's
picked
not right.
heads?
Yeah, I don't like that. That's kind of
Yeah, that's. I always said that. I forget who I was talking to, but I said it should be music first, my opinion, because you're a string band, and then secondary would be your costumes, then third performance.
Yeah, somebody told me, I won't say who it was in case it isn't quite accurate, but the reason that they decided to not go with a tie breaker is because if one of the bands that was part of the tie was a band that never won before, you would possibly take a win away from a band that hasn't won yet, and they didn't want to do that.
Eh, 6 of one, half a dozen of
Yeah.
another.
Yeah,
Right.
because if it was your first win, would you want to have it as a tie?
No,
Right.
no.
But to play the other side, if it was your first win, would you have wanted taken it away? Or would you ever know there was a tie?
I wouldn't want to know.
Because if there's a tiebreaker, that's another thing. If there was a tiebreaker, would you know it was a broken tie, or would it just come out, here's the results, and it's not tied anymore?
I
That's
would
another
think
thing,
you would
too.
have to be honest because it's going to get out. Somebody's going to know.
Yeah, that is true, probably.
But you're still going to
yeah.
have a point spread, right?
Well, right, but what I mean is, like, would they put if they're, in the method Justin said, the tie score would never be broken, so I guess in that way you would know. But if they rescored it,
Well, right.
then you could get away with not knowing. But and I think either way, it's a tough call because there's going to be people that are happy with it
Yeah.
and not. So maybe just, I don't know, maybe just don't touch it and say, oh, well, you never put one in, so it's your fault. If it happens again, it happens again.
Another 124 years.
Yeah.
My
My
Or it happens
solution,
again.
Yeah.
my solution to the trophy I was thinking was maybe you make a display here and make it like a commemorative thing to the first time there was ever a tie. Like put the trophy here and put like a South
As a
Philly
history.
suit and a Quaker suit and say like, this is the first time ever.
Does
in
the trophy have the
120
winners on it?
Yeah, it does.
Decades?
Yeah.
Yeah. We keep ours here.
Which I think is weird. Like, why don't you
little,
not keep it? Oh, you get a little one?
the little one, the Lero Cup we have.
Okay. Well, I guess that's
And that one, I believe the big one is the Jimmy Julia.
Yeah.
I think that's what they call it. And that one's here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was the opposite. I thought it was the Julia Cup, and then the. I could be wrong.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Way out.
I don't touch either one.
All right, but let's recap real quick so everybody remembers. We'll put the graphic up on the screen. So 14 up to number 1, we got Jersey at 14, Hegeman at 13, Duffy at 12, Durning at 11, Ferko at 10, Greater Kensington at 9, Aqua at 8, Polish American at 7, Woodland at 6, Avalon at 5, No 4. There's a tie for third between Fralinger and Uptown. Quaker City is number 2, and South Philadelphia is at number 1. And again, that was the average of all of us together, and that is our predictions for the string bands for 2026. A very rigorous process that we went through to put all this together. But I have to say, I think it's pretty good. I think, that's pretty realistic. I think it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll place our bet. Who's the bet guy? The odds guy? On Nation. Yeah. We have to
I don't know. Your book looks like you.
I know. I listen.
Run a book.
Yeah. Talk about that afterward.
I got to get him one. He never does the bands. He always does brigades.
That's not fair. But we do the bands. And stay tuned because the brigades is going to be coming. We're not able. Unfortunately, we got to put it out before the run through.
Mm-hmm.
We usually watch the run through first and then make our brigade predictions.
Run through feels late this year.
Well, yeah, it's December 30th, right?
30th?
Yeah.
Did you mention if outsiders can go and watch? I used to love going to watch.
Think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, they would come.
Yeah. I used to go all the
All
time when I was younger.
As I know after COVID, it was like clubs only.
Yeah, no, they're allowed to.
Yeah, it's
members, not
open.
like outsiders. Like,
And we moved in
myself.
early this year. What are we,
22nd?
22nd?
Second or third, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, because you're trying to bully us into a kazoo day.
Oh my God, what a word that is on there.
What day's Hat Day, Billy?
The 14th. I can care less about everybody else. It's the 14th.
All right.
And it's Kazoo
21st.
Day.
21st.
It's Soup Sunday.
No, it's Hat Day. It's always It's Kazoo Day.
Yeah, right.
I never
heard of that.
No.
Day.
Even Soup Sunday is
Old.
weird to me, but
What?
it makes more sense than
Old.
Kazoo Day.
It is old, but that's what I grew up hearing.
Whatever.
Kazoo Day.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Would you
anyway,
play a kazoo?
he said
Oh,
they
we
used to.
used
We
to?
told this story before. I don't want to hear him talk about his kazoo again.
Yeah, we're not kazoo guys. Saxophone, drums.
Yeah,
it's like
come on.
Kazoo down.
It's not your day anyway.
Yeah, stay away.
All right. Well, there you go. There's
Like I
our
said,
predictions.
I live on the other side of Broad, and my club's on the other side of Broad, so I'm far, far away.
You can play your kazoo up there.
South Philly doesn't come down 2nd Street, do they, on New Year's night?
No, Bill.
No,
we told you.
And it's the best feeling in the world because we make a right on Washington, get on the bus, take Washington to Grace Ferry Ave, and we're back at the club before half these clubs are done 2nd Street.
Yeah,
Somebody asked me this.
on.
Somebody asked me, I didn't know the answer. Did they ever go down 2nd Street?
On New Year's night?
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either.
couldn't imagine
I
that.
don't ever remember them doing it when I was a kid, so I don't think. I mean, unless it was like 50 years ago, I don't remember it. But yeah, somebody asked me
as long
that.
as I can remember doing the parade, whether it's Marshall or Young, Woodland days or Quaker days, I don't remember seeing South Philly.
No, me either. Remember like Durning a couple of years.
Durning,
Uptown did it a couple times.
Durning would come down like rocking.
Yeah, remember that? I remember that it had to be blue theme. They came down 2nd Street for that. I don't know why I remember that, but I remember.
It's full start, my man. They were shaking the walls, man.
I know.
Down 2nd Street.
Well, there you have it, folks. Again, our predictions. Don't shoot us. But if you don't agree, hey, put your own out there and see what you got. And stay tuned. We're going to have the brigade ones coming up soon, probably, like the week of New Year's, sometime around there. Maybe some footage from the convention center. Who knows what we'll come up with. But stay tuned for that. And the brigade bracket is getting underway.
Yes.
So I'm going to have that out probably before this is even posted. So make sure you're playing along with that. But again, happy holidays, guys, and Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, what the heck. And enjoy your holiday and comment. Follow us on all the platforms. Get into Mum Nation because, again, all the information's coming out. Billy loves when people put all the schedules for everything coming out. So,
Did you like my schedule?
I did like your schedule. So if you need to know anything that's going on, Mum Nation is the spot. We'll try to post some stuff on our YouTube channel as well, like on our post section, just to keep you guys in the loop. But as always, thank you for listening and growing our numbers this year. It's been a great year so far. Don't shoot us over the predictions. And have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you on the next one. So we got Billy Ogum,
Haley Heron,
Mike Jacobs, and we got Justin Graser here. Finally, thank you for joining us.
World
tonight.
famous Graser.
Thank you
Oh,
for letting me
absolutely.
be on after 2 years of asking.
Anytime. We'll see you in 2 years. No, I'm kidding. All right, see you, everybody.
On the fields we go, laughing all the way. Making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Hosted by Billy Yoakum, Haley Heron, and Mike Jacobs. Produced by Haley Heron and Mike Jacobs. Producer Brian Donnelly. Thank you to Cheyenne McLean.